Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this session today. I'm Mariana Macedo, Senior Marketing Manager at ESMT Berlin. And today for our session of MBA Bites, we have Professor Martin Schweinsberg.
Hey guys, should I start, Marina, or not yet?
Yeah, we can start. The
Okay.
session is being recorded, and then we
Awesome.
will send to the attendees who couldn't join on time. So.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Martin. I'm glad to spend a few minutes with you. I'm a psychologist by background. I was a professor at INSEAD before, and now I've been at ESMT for some years, where I oftentimes teach negotiations. And so now, just for a few minutes, I thought I'd give you a brief introduction in what the negotiations course looks like at ESMT Berlin. One thing to note is this is a session where it's all about kind of getting more of the good stuff for yourself. The topic of negotiations is much broader than this, of course. And in the course, it's mostly about how to improve all your relationships through negotiations. But one part of negotiating is getting more of the good stuff for yourself. If you were in a real class, you would have first done a negotiation exercise where one of you is a buyer, and one of you is a seller. You get your own instructions, you go out of the classroom, you negotiate for an hour or so. And as you do that, you realize there's lots of things you probably feel unsure about. You don't quite know, like, should I say this, or should I, more emphasize that? And what does my partner do? What does my opponent do to put me in a tough spot here? So you spend a lot of time actually negotiating. After you've done that, you come back to the classroom and you probably wonder, did I do well in this negotiation? Did I do badly? I'm not so sure. And the research shows that whether you feel good or bad about a negotiated outcome that you obtained has very little to do with your actual objective reality. So you might feel very good about a deal you achieved, but when we measure it, your deal might be actually quite bad. Or the other way around. You might feel like you're not a bad negotiator, but the objective reality, if we were to measure it, is that you could be a really good negotiator. And so in class, if you were in class now, you would have negotiated some sort of outcome, you'd come back, and I'd show you exactly how well you did compared to hundreds of other people who did exactly the same exercise as you did. And that helps you over time to calibrate yourself and to get a better understanding of whether you overestimate how good you are, whether you underestimate how good you are as a negotiator, any way you can get better. After that, we would move on to the 3 keys to negotiation success. And if there's nothing you remember from this session, then these 3 keys, this would be a really good investment of your time, I think. Because ideally, before any negotiation you enter, you should ask yourself 3 simple questions. 1, what's my BATNA? Or what's your alternative to a negotiated outcome if you don't get a deal right now? So if you and I were to negotiate, I should ask myself, before I ever sit down at the table, if we don't come to an agreement, where do I go next? What's my alternative to this? 2, I should ask myself, what's the worst possible deal I'm willing to accept? What's my reservation price or my minimum, the least amount I need to get out of this negotiation before I say thank you, but no thank you, and walk away? And 3, what's my aspiration price? What's the best possible deal I might aspire to? What would really excite me? What is the goal that I have to get out of this negotiation? If I have these 3 questions answered for myself, now you can negotiate based on a sound strategy and not just based on how you feel. Because some of us are overconfident, some of us are a little insecure, and how you negotiate shouldn't be based on how you feel, but based on a sound strategy that changes with each negotiation situation. The beauty of this checklist is that you can go through this in 2-3 minutes. But if you have a lot of time, you can do this as part of a much wider comprehensive assessment. But if typically you don't have time, you can sort of go through this on your way to the negotiation room, in the bathroom break, whilst having a drink, just so you have a plan when you negotiate. What are these 3 parts then? Your BATNA, is what gives you power. The outside options that allow you to walk away from a negotiated agreement. You determine your BATNA by identifying all the options you have, estimating the value of each, and whatever has the highest value to you is your BATNA in that moment in time. BATNA is also the reason why, in Germany at least, companies like Aldi have so much power when they negotiate with suppliers. Because if I'm a milk supplier and I want to get onto Aldi's shelves, Aldi says, you know what, if you don't give me the price that I want, there are hundreds of other milk suppliers who'd love to be on my shelves. And so Aldi has a great BATNA when negotiating with each individual supplier, whereas each individual supplier's BATNA is much weaker. So BATNA is what gives us power in a negotiation. The second key is to understand and remember your reservation price, the walk away point, the worst possible deal you're willing to accept. Where that point lies depends on your risk tolerance. Those of us who are more risk seeking probably say, you know, my limit is a bit higher. I need more before I walk away from this negotiation. Whereas some others, myself included, may be a bit sensitive to risk and we put it a lot lower. One question is, as I said before, you know, should you talk about this? Should you talk about that? Should you reveal your BATNA? Should you reveal your reservation price? Now, in a classroom setting, you know, typically when I ask this question, opinions diverge radically. Some people say, yeah, I want to reveal my BATNA. No, not this, but that. The answer really is that you should reveal your BATNA when it's strong without highlighting too many specifics or details. But if you can allude to the strength of your BATNA, it helps your counterpart understand that to come to an agreement with you, they might have to put more on the table to pull you over the line because your alternatives seem attractive and good. Your reservation price, you should almost never reveal for two reasons. One is, the moment you say, the maximum I can pay for this is 100 euros, guess what? The negotiation moves to that 100 euro price mark. And two, if you were honest about this, if you actually said the truth that 100 euros is the maximum you're able to pay, now you're stuck with your back against the wall and you're unable to make further concessions. The irony, or maybe the tragedy of this, is that your counterpart thinks that when you say 100 euros is your max, you are probably lying just a little bit. And if you're now not moving further from that point, they see you as uncooperative, not willing to negotiate, and just a difficult negotiation partner to have. So if you're truthful about your reservation price, about your limits, it makes you look like an uncooperative negotiation partner and it damages the relationship. The one situation when it's really helpful to reveal your reservation price is if you think there's a high risk that you may never come to an agreement. So if I want to buy something from you and the maximum I can pay is for your services, let's say it's a consulting contract, and maybe your daily rate is, I'm just making something up now. I don't know what your daily rate would be. Let's say it's 5,000 euros, quite a lot of money. But the maximum I can pay is 1,000 euros per day. The gap is so big that you got to ask yourself whether it's worth us meeting in a cafe to discuss the potential cooperation opportunities. Does it really make sense for me to fly to London and for us to meet? And then after a few minutes, we find out there's really no realistic possibility for us to come to an agreement? Probably not. So that's the one situation when it really can make a lot of sense to review your reservation price. The third key to negotiation success is your aspiration price. It's what you're excited about, the goal you have. Because right now, you took care of your alternatives, your BATNA, you took care of your minimum, the least amount you need. And to have a full strategy, you also need to think about what you're aspiring to, what you're really going after in this negotiation. Your aspiration price should be ambitious and possible, and you should build your first offer around it. It's a good question. Should you make the first offer or should you wait? negotiation practitioners typically are split on this question. Half of us say, I think I want to make the first offer. Half of us say, I'd rather wait. What's the correct answer here? The research seems to suggest a very clear answer, and it's based on a study related to the following questions. How long is the River Nile? How many countries are there in Africa? And if that sounds a bit weird, let me explain the study to you. These questions were asked to participants in the 1970s by two psychologists, Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. Before these questions were asked, participants saw a wheel of fortune spin around. And the wheel of fortune would, of course, sometimes land on values that are high, and sometimes it would land on values that are rather low, like here. So people see the wheel of fortune spin, and what Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman found out is what is now called the anchoring bias. And that simply says that when the value that someone sees is high on the wheel of fortune, the answer to the subsequent questions is they believe the River Nile is probably quite long, and they might think that there are many countries in Africa. If the wheel of fortune landed on a low number, people think the River Nile is relatively short, and they estimate there to be relatively few countries in Africa. Clearly, this doesn't really make sense. This is also why they called it a bias. An anchor is something that influences subsequent judgment, even if it is irrelevant, because where the wheel of fortune lands should have no bearing on whether we think there are many countries in Africa or the length of the Nile. Sorry, let me skip ahead a little bit because I wanted to actually skip to a study that elaborates on this a little further. So one takeaway from this research is that you should make the first offer in most cases, and you should probably make it relatively aggressive. Subsequent research by friends of mine, David Loschelder and his friends at Leuphana University in Lüneburg, specified this advice a little more in really interesting ways. They asked participants how much they would be willing to pay for an antique piece of furniture if they were to negotiate for it, like this piece that you can see here on the right. On the left, you can see the results of their study. First, first they were asked how much they would be willing to pay if they received a moderate first offer of 900 euros or an aggressive first offer of 1,200 euros, as you can see here on the white bars. And as the research by Amos Tversky and Kahneman suggested, more aggressive first offers, 1,200 euros, lead to higher willingness to pay. It's better to make an aggressive first offer than a moderate first offer because the aggressive first offer anchors the negotiation at a better price. But then David and his colleagues asked another question. What if we made the offer a little more precise? And this is where it gets really interesting. If you look here on the right-hand side, if someone receives an aggressive first offer over 1,175 euros, they're actually willing to pay more than someone who was offered 1,200 euros. So you give someone a lower price, but they're willing to pay more. Why is that? What could that be? It seems that precise offers, 1,175 versus 1,200, say something about your level of confidence. They communicate that you must have some sort of expertise, that you thought about something quite extensively, and that is why you're confident to demand that particular price. For example, if you were quoting for consulting services, as we just discussed, maybe you shouldn't quote 1,000 euros a day, but 985 or 970 or something a little more precise. In another question, another research that David Loschert and his colleagues conducted, they asked themselves whether this kind of strategy works only on amateurs, people who don't negotiate very much, or whether it also works on experts, people who really know what they're doing in a particular domain. And so they contacted and asked 200 real estate agents who had been working for about 17 years. So these people have negotiated probably hundreds of deals. And they also asked 218 novices, people who don't know very much about negotiations in real estate. They gave all of these people the same real estate ad for a house. The difference was that the ad for that house varied in the price precision. So some people received a price that was very round. They said this will cost 980,000 euros. Other people received the same ad, but were told this will cost 979,000 euros or 978,800 euros, 978,790 euros, and so forth, until it gets kind of ridiculously precise over here, where they were told this will cost 978,781 euros and 63 cents. And the question was, will more precise offers work better for novices and for experts? This is what David and his colleagues found. First, we look at the results for amateurs on the left-hand side. On the y-axis, from the bottom to the top, you can see how much people were willing to pay and what their counter offer was. On the x-axis, from the left to the right, you can see again how precise that first anchor was. From 2 digits, 908,000, 80,000 on the left, to 978,781 and 63 cents all the way on the right. And what they found was that for amateurs, each additional step of precision made for more powerful first offers. But if the same offers were given to experts, these real estate agents, the relationship shifted. These experts were most heavily influenced by medium precise first offers, something around here, precision level 5, 978,790 euros. When the first offer was too round, when they were told this will cost 980,000 euros, experts thought, you have no idea what you're talking about, so I don't take you very seriously. When the same experts received offers that were too precise, down to the cent, 978,781 and 63 cents, they thought something fishy is going on. You're probably trying to cheat me. And so the recommendation then is not just to make aggressive first offers, but to make aggressive and precise first offers. And that gives you hopefully a little glimpse of what happens in a negotiation class at ESMT Berlin. There's always a part, very substantial part actually, where you go out and you negotiate with a counterpart and you make all kinds of mistakes. You come back to the classroom, you learn something about your own negotiation performance, how you compare relative to the peers in your classroom and hundreds of other people who did the same exercise already. And then we'll unpack what happened with systematic frameworks and strategies that are based on research evidence that can help you become a better negotiator in all your negotiations. There's a very strong emphasis on using negotiations to improve your relationships and to build sustainable networks that can help you be more successful over time. This particular segment now was all about how to get more of the good stuff for yourself, but it's a very small part of negotiation mastery. For the most part, we focus on how you can structure deals that make you and your counterpart better off, and how you can use those skills to build better and more fulfilling relationships. Thank you very much. That's all I had for today.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It was really insightful. And yeah, great lecture and so much knowledge in such a short amount of time. So thank you very much.
Great,
I will
thank you.
just give a couple of minutes if anyone has any questions to Professor Martin about his lecture, about his classes. And then if not, in 1 minute, I will jump to the presentation about the MBA programs, the details about each MBA, and yeah, some more information about the programs itself.
Great.
Thank you very much. So yeah, if you have any questions, we have the Q&A on the bottom of the screen. You can probably see here the question mark on the bottom of the screen. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in. Okay, we received some hearts and some applauses, but I think no questions. So
Great.
Professor, thank you very much.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Have a good
Have
time.
a great day.
Wish you a good day. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye. So now we will start with the presentation of the MBA programs. I will just quickly share my screen here so you can learn a little bit more about ESMT and about our MBA programs. So a little bit about ESMT. ESMT is a world-leading business school in the heart of Berlin. We have the triple accreditation, which means that all of our MBA programs, they have accreditation by these three bodies that you can see on the bottom of your screen. So AACSB, AMBA, and EQUIS accredited as well. And the building that you see here in the picture is our campus located in the center of Berlin. We have a mission from the heart of Europe. We create and impart new knowledge to advance business and society, and we develop entrepreneurial leaders who think globally and act responsibly. So ESMT is a business school founded around 20 years ago by these companies here that you can see on the screen. So we were a business school founded by business. And our difference is that we have modern and relevant curricula. And in all of the MBA programs, we have opportunities to tailor the program to your interests. So we will talk a little more about that when we go to the specific programs. Also, the international focus. So we are a highly international business schools with our faculty, with our students, and also with the options that we offer to our students to study abroad and to have international exposure during the program. As well, career transformation. So we have a leadership development, career-focused curriculum, and we build experience with real-world consulting projects. And we have an engaged ESMT alumni network with over 10,000 alumni, a world-class faculty, and as I said, we are triple accredited and founded by business. Now, a little bit specific about the different MBA programs. We have the full-time MBA, which is a program that has a duration of 15 months, starting in January. And it's tailored to professionals who really want to make a big change in their career. So they stop working for around 1 year to really focus on the MBA program. They can choose to focus on managerial analytics or innovation and entrepreneurship. And apart from that, they have a list of electives that they can choose from. During the summer, they can choose to do an internship, a social impact program, or to take intensive German classes for international students, or they can also join the summer entrepreneurship program. So we have some of those customization options apart from international options. So you can do a short exchange of 1 week or a long exchange of 1 term. And after the graduation, you can also choose to join the Responsible Leaders Fellowship, which is similar to the Social Impact Program, but happens after graduation, and it's a little more long, so around 6 months. We have here an overview of the class. So the average age is 30. We have 30 different nationalities in the cohort and 100% international. Now talking a little bit about the part-time program. So this is a program for professionals who still want to keep working while they study, and they want to advance their career and expand their European network. So this program is delivered in a blended format, what we call. So you have 75% online and you can study at your own pace, and 25% in person happening on weekends here in Berlin between Thursday and Saturday. So you are expected to spend around 28 days out of the office throughout the 14 residencies. And this program starts in September, so we have applications open, but the final deadline is approaching soon. So the class profile, we have an average age of 32, 26 different nationalities, and around 70% international. So we also have international options such as the International Field Seminar, the GNM Week, and multiple electives that you can choose from. Now talking a little bit about the Global Online MBA. So this is an MBA program that we created for professionals who aren't able to join us on campus in Berlin, but want to have the quality of teaching from ESMT. So you have a 2-year part-time program delivering 7 modules, and we have 2 intakes per year, 1 class starting in September and 1 class starting in May. For the September class, we have applications open as well, and scholarships available. So this is a program that is delivered 100% online, but you have several opportunities to expand your networking, group projects, and live classes that you can interact with the professors and the students as well. And you have 2 in-person electives. So the Berlin Experience Week, which takes place here in Berlin, in our campus, or the Global Experience Week, which takes place in different locations across the world. You can also take pauses in between the modules. So it's a highly flexible program that you can really tailor to your needs. You have several different electives to choose from, and you can also add on personalized career coaching. Here a little bit about the class profile as well. 46 different nationalities and 75% international, with students coming from all different industries, as you can see on the graph on the upper right side of the screen. And last but not least, we have the Executive MBA, which is a program for leaders ready to open the door to senior management. So in this program, you really have a big focus on developing your leadership style, understanding who you are as a leader, and being an effective leader to your organization. So this is a part-time program with the duration of 18 months, starting in October, and you have 10 modules. It's 100% in person. Each module has a duration of 6 days, so between Monday to Saturday, and you have 6 modules taking place in our campus in Berlin and 4 international modules. Here you can also see the class size, 26 different nationalities, and 68% international. Now, for all MBA programs that we have available the Career Development Center. So this is a team of professionals who will help you to make the transition that you want in your career, either if it's a career change, a job industry change, they are ready to support you. They will offer workshops for you during the year, especially for the full-time MBA. There's a big focus on your next career transition. So here you also have recruitment support with on and off-campus recruitment events, a series of both in-person and online tools and resources that you can learn from, and corporate visits on and off campus as well. So we have a career fair every year in January, and these are some of the companies that we have worked with in the last event that we have. So you can have an idea about what kind of company hires ESMT Berlin students. So thank you very much for listening to this presentation. Again, if you have any questions, we have the Q&A section on the bottom of your screen, so feel free to type in your questions. So May share your PowerPoint file. Yes, so after this presentation, we will send you a link to the video with Martin's lecture and also this presentation with more information about the MBA programs. I just noticed that we extended our time a bit, so if you don't have any further questions, I'll give 1 more minute and then we can end the session. But thank you very much for taking the time to join this session today. And if you have any further questions, you can always go to our website and check for more information and contact information as well. You can find there. Thank you very much and have a very nice rest of the day.